Hello, minions! Today I am doing a different kind of live commentary. I'm actually sitting here at my Xbox, and I figure we'd go over my created class slots in the Pick 10 system. I've considered waiting because I'm about to prestige again, so I could get another slot. I've considered waiting to do this, but I figured, hey, what the hell, I got some free time, let's do this thing. And I am loving the Pick 10 system in Black Ops 2, and it is kind of... They've always said in Call of Duty that the idea behind the perk system was that you could customize your class to your playstyle, and that's not really true of the previous games. The perk system allowed you to adapt to certain situations, like if you wanted to use cold-blooded to be sneaky or something like that, but in general, it didn't adapt to your playstyle as much, mainly because certain perks rose to the top as being the better perks, and if you didn't have those, then you weren't going to be as competitive. So in this game with the Pick 10 system, you really can customize your class to your playstyle, and as you'll see in most of these, I don't have a secondary weapon in my classes, and that fits my playstyle more than anything else. It allows me to easily pick up a second primary weapon when I'm on the battlefield, and I don't often find myself pistol switching during games. You know, if I'm in a close quarters gun battle, then it's more likely that it'll be over before my primary weapon is out of ammo, or that I'll be far enough away from the enemy or have enough time to duck behind cover and reload. So the difference between a 1 second weapon switch versus a quarter of a second pistol switch doesn't make that big of a difference to me. So that's the main thing, is I get those points back for not carrying around that. And by not taking 2 tactical grenades most of the time, I save another point that I can use for adding another perk. And that's really where my points end up going. My secondary and my second tactical grenade usually go towards the 2 points it takes to grab another perk. But that's kind of a quick overview. Let's go through just the kits I have set up now and why I like them. My assault kit, you guys will recognize these names. They're pretty standard for how I've played Call of Duties in the past. Although in this game I had a class called Gunner, which is what I used to call Support. But for some reason the class name Support is filtered for profanity, but Assault isn't. Assault used to be because it has ass in it, but now it's Support. And I don't even know what part of Support is offensive. But anyway, my Assault class is my main kind of Slayer, generally rounded assault rifle class. And right now the M27 is the weapon that I've been ranking. It's the only weapon I've maxed out and that I've actually prestiged. I've just started my second prestige, which is why I only have a few unlocks for it. Is that, requires... That must be blacked out because it's an underbarrel. Oh yeah, because I have a grip. But it's the only one I prestige so far. And for those of you who don't know, once you've maxed... I'm not even really... kind of close on the MP7. But once you get a weapon to max level, when you come into this screen, there will be a... I clean the attachments. There will be a button right here that I think it's like press Y to prestige weapon. So once your weapon level, under where it says level there, goes to max, I think most of the weapons I've seen go to level 17. I don't know if they all go to 17, but once you hit that maximum level, then you can go in here and prestige your weapon, and what that unlocks is the ability under this personalization menu to put the first time you prestige, you get your weapon tag, which is your clan tag on your weapon, and the second time you get your emblem. So this is the second time I prestige this weapon, so it's maxed out on prestige, so I've unlocked the 2 things you can. And yeah, once I get this maxed up and unlock all the attachments again, then it'll be done. I don't know if you can reset it a third time or not, but I'm not going to, even if you can, just because I got what I want for this and find a different gun. But the assault class I've got basically set up to, like I said, it's kind of more flexible, and again, I give up the secondary and a tactical grenade so that I can get a second perk. In this case, I've got Hardline. And actually, I guess I ought to preface it, because some of you may already be screaming at your screen, how do you have Ghost? You're a level 51. Ghost unlocks at level 55. That's true. And Ghost is a very powerful perk in this game. And when you prestige, not only do you... I was going to cover this in a separate video when I hit my next prestige here in 5 levels, but I'll mention it now because you're going to be wondering why I have Ghost. When you prestige, you have the option to... well, first of all, you get 1 token to do something special for prestige. Actually, I'll go prestige mode. You get a prestige award, which is what I'm using for extra custom class slots. I think there may be other things you can unlock. Well, I know there are, otherwise it wouldn't be prestige awards. It would just give it to you. But there's something else you can choose from. I don't even remember what it is. But you can also get an extra custom class slot, which is what I want and what I'm going to do. I don't know. I think you're still the max is still 10 custom classes. So once I get past prestige 5, I may start unlocking whatever the other things are. But you get an extra award that you get to choose. Mine's extra classes. And you also get what's called a permanent unlock token. So you get to pick one thing, whether it be a weapon or a perk or a wild card, that you get to unlock permanently for every prestige from now until the end of time. So my first prestige, I chose Ghost, which means that from now on, no matter what level I am, level 1 or level 55, I always have access to Ghost. And as you can see, I have it on everything except Gits and Shiggles right now. I don't always really need it on my Assault class. I typically run Hardline. I mean, these should almost be switched. Just because it's kind of order of precedence. Like, I kind of prefer this to have Hardline, and if I can also carry along Ghost, then that's good. For the first Prestige, I ran Blind Eye. Pretty much the entire Prestige on every class. Every class had Blind Eye on it. And what that did... because it's undetectable AI-controlled air support, which includes like stealth choppers and anything that the player is not actively driving around, doesn't shoot at you, which is a nice advantage. And the main thing that it saves you from is hunter-killer drones, which can be very annoying when they just come flying out of nowhere. But I also found that despite them being annoying and maybe a hunter-killer drone hitting me once every other game or so, they're really not all that common, meaning there's quite a few hundred killer drones in a game, but they won't necessarily hit you all that often. So I found Blind Eye to be less useful than I really anticipated, especially when compared to Ghost, which keeps you off the radar. Cannot be detected by UAVs while moving, and I love that it's while moving. So, and that's not just a take a step and you're off the radar. There's a significant amount of movement you have to do that's indicated by your little player arrow on the radar getting grayed out when you're on the radar or not. And Ghost is very, very powerful when you're not on the radar because it just gives you that extra split second of surprise when someone comes around a corner and they're not expecting you there. It really helps. Now, normally on this class, and actually on most classes, my preferred selection of attachments is fast mags and laser sight, even on assault rifles. Because being able to get that a couple more shots on target from hip firing can save your ass a lot. And in my experience, it saves your ass a ton. And I don't really need optical attachments. Most of the iron sights in this game are pretty awesome. Sometimes I will go ahead and say give up my extra perk so that I can use primary gunfighter and throw an optic on. I've been doing it recently just to try and unlock some of the reticles. But I took it off because I was like, you know what, not only do I not really care about those reticles right now, but I benefit more from having an extra perk than I do from having an optic. Just my personal... Maybe you guys can't, see the iron sights as well. Obviously, the optics give you a better picture than the iron sights do, but the iron sights aren't so bad that I have a problem with them with most weapons. So that would be my preferred setup for this, but again, since I prestiged it, I don't have it unlocked. So I'm using Quick Draw because, again, I don't need the reflex, really. And Quick Draw just gets my sights up a little bit faster. It's kind of a poor man's replacement for having a laser sight. It's all about getting bullets on target. May notice also, pretty much every class, and that's to say every class that has a perk 3 is running Engineer. It's so important to keep from me getting mad in this game because there's so many shock charges and bouncing betties and claymores just being scattered all over the place, and even in objective games that people are using tack insertions. Also, it's very useful for sentry guns and guardians. You can see them through walls across the map. And considering my propensity for running EMP grenades or black hats, those are just perfect for running with Engineer because I can see a piece of equipment before a bouncing Betty jumps up and hits me in the face, and I can disable it with an EMP grenade, which not only keeps me safe, but also earns me points for destroying those things with my EMP grenade. So, or with a black hat, same deal. Whereas a black hat can actually capture you equipment. I find the EMP grenade more useful because it also works kind of as a stun grenade. Meaning you'll get a hit marker if it hits somebody like it did, and I've talked about this in previous Call of Duties. I think they added it in Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, an EMP grenade will give you a hit marker so you can use it to do stun checks. And also, even though it doesn't really stun a player physically, because it disables their HUD, their electronics, and kind of makes their screen a little fuzzy for a little bit, it distracts people so that it can still give you a slight advantage in a gunfight. Not the same kind of advantage you'll get from using a stun grenade, a concussion grenade, or a flashbang. They're not blind and they don't have trouble moving, but they are a little off-put by the fact that they just got hit by something and suddenly their HUD is gone. So it does give a good advantage to that sense, and it helps you destroy equipment. And it's especially helpful for team play when the enemy team has a sentry gun up or a guardian, and you can just chuck that EMP grenade out at it and destroy it. And then, boom, you can destroy a guardian or a sentry gun in one EMP grenade, and it gets you 125 score for doing it because it's a big help to your team. A EMP grenade will also disable an AGR, but it won't destroy it on its own. If an AGR is damaged, it will destroy it. But my wife is calling, and this video is about to hit the time limit, so I'll have to continue this in a part 2. Rock lobster!